Good morning, everybody there. In today's class, let us see the application of stack through some programming examples. Why stack is used? We have already told yesterday, stack is used by the programmer at the time of temporary storage, as well as it is used by the processor at the time of call instructions. To support this concept, let us discuss some of the programming examples in continuation with yesterday's instruction class. The first program is to find the factorial of a given number. Write a program to find the factorial of a given number. You have to execute this also in the lab also. Check whether the number 0, 1, and if so, then the factorial can be directly given as 1. And later you have to store the number in some register. In this case, we have used R2, which is the multiplier which is decremented in each loop. Multiply R2 with the partial product and repeat the loop until R2 reaches 1. The result is stored in the location 31. Simple program to find the factorial of a number. Which factorial you need to find out? That you have it in some memory location 30. Compare that with 0. If it is not 0, check whether it is 1. If it is not 1, check whether it is decrement R2 and check whether the R2 is 1. Because the 2 factorial is 2. Later, suppose if it is not 0, if it is not 1, if it is not 2, then you would call a subroutine called as the fact, where after every decrement you are multiplying with R2. That's how you do it. You can just see, suppose how do you find 4 factorial? R2 is equal to 4. Now accumulate is equal to 4. Make R2 as 3 because you are decrementing R2. 4 into 3 you do. Then once again decrement R2. Multiply R2 with the partial product. Now R2 becomes 1. When R2 becomes 1, factorial is the last product, that is 18. So how do you find out 5 factorial? So 5 into 4 is 20, that is 14H. Once again 14 into 3, this 42, which is 3C. 42 into 2 is 84, which is nothing but 78. So 78 is 5 factorial. So this is how you do factorial. It's a very important program as far as your examination is concerned. So how do you do it? First you check whether it is 0. If it is 0, factorial is 1. That is why you are jumping to the location 1, where you are storing 1 as the factorial. Suppose if it is 1 factorial, once again you are jumping to 1 only. You are storing it as 1. Suppose if it is not 1, check. You decrement R2 and check whether R2 is 1. If R2 is 1, what is the meaning? Process is over. Process is over. Just you are storing R2 as the factorial, because R2 is accumulating always the partial product. R2 is always accumulating the partial product. So now let us write the program. Let us write the program. can use our digital pad. That will be very clear to you. Later you can give me the feedback. So the factorial. So memory location 30 contains the factorial which you need to find out. So memory location 30 which contains the data. R2 contains partial product at each iteration. These are all some assumptions. If you write it, it will be very clear. So move a comma 30. So whatever you are having, that you can move to 30 to R2. So move 30 to A, CJNE A with #00. Next one. If it is equal, 0 factorial is 1. So I will just give the target location as 1 only. So next one, you can check CJNE A with #01. Next true if it is not equal. If it is equal, once again it is 1 only. 1 factorial is 1. Okay. So now what is next 2? Here you check whether it is 2. That is what you are doing. Decrement R2. Now you check CJNE 02 with #01. Next 3. Suppose if it is so, SJMP some memory location, because if it is 2 factorial, that is why you are decrementing R2. If R2 is 1, if it is equal, the data is 2. So 2 factorial is 2 only. That you have to handle separately. Suppose if it is not equal, as you have decremented, now you call a subroutine called as fact. So what is that fact? I will write it here. In this fact, what you are doing, so move R2 to A. It's already decremented. You can just once again refer the logic if you are having any doubts. Whatever our accumulator is having the data only. Accumulator is having the data. So R2 you have to the decremented value. That you have to move to B register. Then you have to multiply. That's all you have to do. Very simple. So this is move B. So move B, comma R2, that is the decremented value, mul AB. So now A is having the actual data, B is having decremented data. Suppose 4 you have given means you are doing it as 4 into 3. That's all. Later once again, after that you will simply say return. So it will return here. It will return here. So here you have to give SJMP next to. So it will once again decrement R2 here. After decrementing, it will compare whether it has reached 1. If it is not reached 1, once again call the fact. So as you have decremented, once again 12 into 2 it will happen. That is 0C into 2 it will happen. So that's how it will be done. So once if it is equal to 1, if it is equal to 1, it is last. So accumulator is having the final product that you can move it to 31H. That is the result. Every time R2 should contain the product. So here R2 should contain the product, partial product. R2 should contain. So what you are doing here? Move R2 to comma E. So R2 is having the final product. R2 is having the final product. SJMP start. So here you have to write 1 that you have to handle separately. So move 31H comma A SJMP start. Stop is this. So here you are writing the end. So just check the program. You can trace the program. Suppose you are doing 4 factorial. So R2 is equal to 4. Accumulator is also equal to 4 at the beginning. Check whether it is 0. It is not 0. Check whether it is equal to 1. It is not 1. You are decrementing R2. When you are decrementing R2, R2 becomes 3. Accumulator is equal to 4. Check whether R2 is equal to 1. That is why I have written there 02. 02 is nothing but R2. R2 is equal to 1. If it is not, it's not equal to 1. L call fact. So R2 you move to B register. So 3 you are moving to B. There you are multiplying. So 4 into 3 it will be 12. 12 is nothing but 0C. So now after first iteration, R2 becomes 0C. R2 becomes 0C. Yeah. R2 becomes 0C. So here, one mistake. You need not move every time R2 the partial product. R2 you need not move every time. Accumulator, let it contain the partial product. So if it contains, that's why you have to check every time. Otherwise, your program will be wrong. So now accumulator is containing the partial product. So that is 0C. So it will return it to this point. It will return to this point. When it return to this point, SJMP next to do. So decrement R2 once again. So for the next iteration, R2 becomes 2. So once again, it is not equal to 1. So it will once again call the subroutine. When it calls the subroutine, R2 to B. So now the B becomes 2. A is 0C. It will perform 12 into 2, that is 0c into 12. So 24, 24 in hexadecimal, it is 18H. It will return once again there, SJMP next to. It will decrement R2 once again. When it decrement R2 once again, R2 becomes 1. When R2 becomes 1, it jumps to the last. It jumps to the last. So here, what you have to do? So this is A. So A will be having the final. Accumulator is having the final product. Final product, not R2. It is a mistake. That's all. So A to 30. So have you understood the program? So have you understood? So very important factorial program. Have you understood? I'm asking, have you understood? Whether the factorial program, have you understood? The algorithm. Are you listening or not? Have you understood the program? So no answer. Have you understood? So let us go to the next program. Write a program to find the square root. Write a program to find the square root of a given number. It is done using perfect square method. Square each number starting from 0, 1 in register R3 and compare the result with the given number. If equal, the given number is the perfect square and the number is in R3 as its root. If R3, that is the square, is greater than the given number, it's not a perfect square. R3 is the integer part of its root. Increment R3 and repeat the loop. So what you are doing, you are starting from 1 square you do, compare with the given number. Suppose if it is not equal, increment R3, do 2 square, 4. You compare once again with the given number. If it is equal to 4, R3 is now 2, no? So 2 is the square. So every time you have to compare. Suppose if it is no carry means what? It is greater. That is why you have to decrement once. And that is the value. That is the value. Suppose there is a carry, increment R3 and you have to repeat. So this is called as the finding square root using perfect square method. Perfect square method. Square root. This is one more application of subroutines. Square root program. Square root is computed using perfect square method. Using perfect square method. Example. Square root of 16 you have to find out. So you are starting somewhere in some register R3, you are taking 1. Find out 1 square. 1 square is equal to 1. Compare with 16. Once again not equal. Increment R3. R3 becomes 2. Find 2 square. So 2 square is 4. Same. Repeat. R3 is equal to 3. 3 square is equal to 9. Compare. It's not equal. R3 is equal to 4. 4 square is equal to 16. So now it becomes equal. So R3 is square. That is the 4. Suppose you are finding square root of 10. Suppose you are finding square root of 10. Square root of 10. Similarities. 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. So 3 square is equal to 9. Compare with 10. Not equal. So find out 4 square. So 4 square is equal to 16. Compare with 10. There is a carry. When you are comparing, there is no carry. There is no carry. Hence, so we have crossed. We have crossed. So decrement R3. So R3 becomes 3. So 3 is approximate square root of 10. Approximate square root of 10. So this is the algorithm. This is the algorithm. So now let us write the program. Move R3 as the row 1. Just you can just see the this one program, that is where you have taken the data. So data we have taken in R2. R3 is having 1. A called square. So in square, what you are doing? R3 you are moving to F0. R3 you are moving to A. Mal AB you are doing. F0 is nothing but B register. R3 to B. So mal AB. So you return here. After returning, whatever accumulator is having the square, you are comparing with the given data. Given data is there in R2. That's all. If it is not equal, check whether there is no carry. If there is no carry, you have crossed the limit. Decrement R3. SJMP last. Last is nothing but R3 is the square root. Suppose if there is a carry, you are increment R3, you are repeating the process. You are repeating the process. So that's it. So when accumulator becomes equal to R2, it is a perfect square. It is a perfect square. R3 is having the square root. So that is the simple procedure. That is the simple procedure. Answer your attendance, please. So the given data is moved to R2. Move to R2. Now A call square. A call square. Now you compare. After returning, compare R2 A with R2. Parameter should be always A. A with R2. R2 is nothing but 0. If it is not equal, next. If it is equal, SJMP square root. You can just say square. If it is not equal means what you do? Check whether there is no carry. No carry means forward. If there is a carry, your increment R3, SJMP back. Repeating the process. Repeat is nothing but a call. This is your back. So forward is, you have crossed the limits, decrement R3. Decrement R3, move the square root to, R3 is having the square root, move that. So this is your square. This is square. Simple. So here you can stop. SJMP stop. So now you can write your so square 1, same label you cannot use. Be careful. This is square 1. Square. That is your subroutine. Move R3 to bridge register. Move accumulator R3 to A. Square you are finding. Mallebi. Return. So this is the end of the program. This is the end of the program. You just see R3 is 1. Detailed algorithm I have written. Every time you are finding 1 square, 2 square, 3 square like that. After finding it, you are comparing with the content of R2. R2 is nothing but the given data. R2 is nothing but the given data. So when it becomes equal, that is the square root. Square 1 is move that to square root. R3 is containing the square root. That you can move it to 31H. Then you stop. Suppose if it is not equal, then you are checking whether you have crossed the squaring process. When you are crossing the squaring process, jump no carry means there will be, here you are seeing, no? When you are finding square root of 10, 4 square 16, compared with 10, there is no carry. Hence we have crossed. So decrement R3. So jump no carry means forward, decrement R3. After decrementing R3, just that is the square root. Move that to 31. Suppose there is a carry means you have not crossed. Increment and repeat the process. Increment and repeat the process. So that's it. So this is how you have to find out the square root. Similarly, you can find out the cube root. Same procedure. Same procedure, cube root. But there you are finding the cube, perfect cube method. Same. Rather than when you are doing it, what you have to do? First you will find Mallebi. Once again you move to B register. See that the product will not cross 8 bits. Mallebi. That's all. Everything is same. Everything is same. So this is how the cube root is done. Cube root is done. In case of cube root, it is a perfect cube method. In case of square root, it is a perfect square method. This is how cube root and square root is found. So we have discussed 3 programs today. So in case of cube root, so next program is cube root. So cube root also same method. Only difference for cube root is that difference I will write it in the blue color. Same program. So here for cube root, once again the partial product you move to B register. You move R3 to B. Once again find Malay. So that is what you are finding the cube. Only this is the difference. That's all. You have to find the cube. So rather than the square here, have the label as cube. That's only the difference. That is only the difference. So that is cube. Can have the label as result here, for example. For square, you are having square one result. So this is only the difference. So in case of when you are finding the cube root, you have to find using the perfect cube method. That's all. Perfect cube method. So these are the 3 examples we have discussed today for finding or writing the programs using subroutines. First program is the factorial, second program is square root, third program is the cube root. Okay. So have you understood square root and cube root? So very important programs. So have you understood? Don't know whether you have understood or not. You are not replying also today anyhow. So we shall stop today.